recent leaps in technology, AI has forayed to the forefronts of digital marketing, giving entrepreneurs not only the opportunity to improve the effectiveness of their business, but it has also grown up to become a prominent startup domain. So today, on this episode of iTalks, we are going to have a talk session on the topic artificial intelligence in entrepreneurship. So without further ado, let me welcome the guest for today's session, Mr. Mathew Joseph. He is the Vice President and Head of the Artificial Intelligence Labs for CIMB Bank. He is also a mentor for many startup companies in the AI domain and has also been a keynote speaker in many industry conferences and universities. So it is with immense pleasure and gratitude that I welcome you, sir, to today's episode. So you're mute.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, so as I said, he'll be sharing his insights on the topic artificial intelligence in entrepreneurship. And at the end of the session, we'll be having an interactive session where you can ask questions and all the doubts that you have to him. So I think I'll hand over the session to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Susna, and thanks to CET and the organizers for giving me this opportunity to address the young crowd here. So in fact, I'm also a CETian, and I passed out from
yes,
CET.
Mathew sir is also a proud CET alumni of our college. So welcome, sir. On behalf of CET, we welcome you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So let me start the presentation.
Yes.
Okay, so we will have 90 minutes of this session. So first 1 hour we'll have the presentation, and followed by 30 minutes of question answer, where you can we can have a time of open discussion. I can take some of these questions and we can answer that. So what you can do is, during the session, if there are any questions, you can write down in the chat window, and one of the organizers or the moderator can read out the question during the question answer session. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, so I'm sure that you are familiar with artificial intelligence, and some of you have studied data science, artificial intelligence, or machine learning. And even if you are not studied that, I'm sure that all of you are familiar with this term artificial intelligence, because it's there in the medium, and this is a technology for the future. So we are going to talk about how artificial intelligence can be used for the entrepreneurs. So when you're going to talk about organization, when you're going to run a business, how you can use that for artificial intelligence for your running your business and running your startup, how we can do that. So last week I was in an important meeting in my office. So I heard my colleagues, my superiors were there, and we were in an important discussion. So in the middle of that discussion, suddenly I got a call. I got a call on my mobile phone. So it was in the middle of the discussion, so I did not take the call. After 1 minute or after 2 minutes, again, the same person from an unknown number, I got the call on my mobile phone. So I thought it's someone trying to reach me. Could be something urgent or could be something important. So I accepted the call. So there was a person saying, "Sir, do you want personal loan?" So I got irritated, I got upset. So I suddenly disconnected the phone. I'm sure that this is the kind of experience which you all get. So this was a message from a bank. So from a bank where I have my salary account for the last 15 years, the same bank is calling me for a personal loan. So I'm sure that all of you have this similar kind of experience. So this is a typical business problem for the campaign management, for all the customer facing businesses are doing that. So they send out messages, they call the customers with the wrong message at the wrong time through the wrong channel, right? So I'm sure that all of you face the similar experience, right? So if you look at your email box, I'm sure that at least I'm getting at least 4 to 5 email from the different retailers or the different banks asking for personal loan, asking for home loan, different offers. And then there are at least 4 or 5 SMS text messages I receive on my phone with the different offers, asking for credit card, personal loan, home loans, all that, right? So I'm sure that, and people get calls when you are in the hospital, or when you are in a family function, or when you are in the middle of an important meeting. That's when you get this kind of calls from the different retailers and banks and any customer facing business. So this is a typical example as an entrepreneur. So if you're planning to have a startup, this is an excellent example what you should not be doing. What these people are doing, what these banks are doing, they're spamming their customers, right? So they are spamming their email, they're spamming their through phones, they're spamming through text messages and through different channels. They are spamming their customers. They are sending the wrong message to the wrong person at the wrong time. So that's when it becomes spam. So if you look out that particular message about a personal loan, or about a credit card, or about a particular offer, that message itself is not, there is something wrong in that message. The problem is that that particular message is not relevant to this customer at this time. That is where it becomes a spam, right? So a message which is useful for me can be a spam for me, for you, or a message which is useful for you today may not be useful, or a message which is useful for you maybe after a year may not be relevant for you today, right? So this is a typical example or an excellent business problem, and which you should be keeping it in mind as an entrepreneur, which you should not be doing, right? So this particular business problem, we have solved it using artificial intelligence. So what we have done is we have the entire bank data of the customer base. So our bank is spread across 16 countries in Asia, and we have the entire bank data of 26 million customers in a big data platform. And then we built many AI solutions, many machine learning models, many deep learning solutions, many NLP solutions, many neural network solutions to understand and analyze the customer behavior, the customer propensity, customer demographic, using the customer demographic, using the customer data, his behavior, his past purchases, past online behavior. With all this data, we came up with preferred product and which product the customer is likely to buy, and which is the next best product for a customer, right? And then we ran the personalized campaign to reach to all these 26 million customers, and personalize messages to the right customer at the right time through the channel, right? So we don't just spam the customers with the same message to everybody. Instead of that, using artificial intelligence, we analyze the customer, his behavior, his propensity, all that, and then every customer will have their own preference for the channels, right? So for example, some of you may be okay to receive an email, or some of people who are not frequently using emails or frequently using internet. Some of you may be interested in receiving a phone call, or some of you are okay to receive an SMS. So everybody has their own preferences for channels. So channel is a common word. If you are into marketing or campaigns, digital marketing, this is a very familiar word. So channel is the digital channel or any channel. So it can be any mode of communication to the customer, right? So it can be SMS, it can be emails, it can be phone calls, or digital app, or a website, or through ATMs, so or electronic media, or printed media, or through the branches. So there are many channels for campaigns. So every customer has his own preference, and every customer has a preferred time. So some people will say, okay, you can call me, or you can give me messages during weekends. Some of you will say, okay, I don't mind getting a call during my lunch break. Or some of you will say, okay, I'm okay to receive a call or an email in the evening time after office hours. So we build these AI solutions on this entire customer base, and we identified what is the preferred channel for each customer, and what is the preferred time or day for the customer to reach him, and then what is the best product for him. So if you are having a savings account with my bank, what is the next best product? Are you likely to buy a home loan? When you are likely to buy a home loan? When you are likely to buy a car loan? When you are likely to have some investment? based on your demographics data. We identify that, and then at the time when you are likely to buy a home loan, we will reach you with the home loan offer. When you are likely to buy a car, that is only when we reach to you with a message for car loan, right? So that way we personalize the service and stop spamming the customer. So if you are an entrepreneur, if you are running a business, any type of business, so it can be in electronic, it can be retail, it can be in banking, or it can be financial, or it can be in agriculture, agri-tech, any industry, or in the tourism, or in manufacturing, any industry, you need to think from a customer point of view. So you should have the customer point of view. Do not spam the customer. Understand the customer. What is his requirement? What he likes? What he dislikes? What is his demographics? What is his preferences? What are the things which he will like and when he will like? So based on that, you provide the right solution at the right time, right? So that's the first thing we should be remembering as an entrepreneur. So when we talk about entrepreneur, so there are two cases I want to say. One is we are all familiar with the medical representative, right? Medical representative is the person who is selling the medicines to pharmacies or to the medical store or to the doctors or to the clinics or to the hospitals. So so those are the people called medical representatives. And then there are doctors, right? And then why do we respect and value a doctor more than a medical representative, right? So if you look at the number of medicines which medical representatives know, probably that is more than a doctor. So for example, a pediatrician will know the medicines related to pediatrics only, but a medical representative will know the medicines from all streams of specialization, pediatrics or gynecology or cardiology, neurology, orthopedics, all this. So he will probably know the medicine from all the streams, but still we respect and value a doctor, a specialist, a medical consultant, more than a medical representative, right? So that's an excellent example we should look at when you are talking about entrepreneurship. We respect a doctor because he understands the patient. He is able to understand the patient, and he is able to analyze and diagnose a patient. So how does a doctor operate? So if you are going to a hospital, so for example, you go to Trivandrum Medical College, you take an appointment, you go to the OPD, right? And you want to meet a neurologist, right? So for example, you have some severe headache for the last 1 week, right? And you go to the neurologist thinking that there could be something wrong. So you go to the doctor, and he's not going to write 10 medicines to you immediately the moment you enter into his cabin, right? He's not going to do that. He's not going to prescribe scanning or X-ray or ECG immediately, right? So you go there, you sit there and you speak to him. He will understand. He will listen all your problems. He will conduct probably some blood test or urine test or some kind of scanning or X-ray. He will conduct all these tests. He will collect all this data. Then he will analyze the data. He will understand. He will diagnose the problem. And then he will identify the problem. And then he will prescribe the medicine for that problem, which is customized for your problem and customized for you as a person. Got it? So if you are an entrepreneur, that is how you should be approaching the customer. You should not just throw the medicines just like a medical representative is trying to sell all the medicine to the medical store and all. That should not be the approach. For doing that, artificial intelligence is the best technology. Artificial intelligence and data science is the best technology for you to operate your business just like a doctor is operating. You have, say, for example, you have 50,000 customers or you have 1 lakh customers. So you are running a online e-commerce retail store, right? And you are running it for the last 1 year or last 2 years, right? So what you are going to do is you have 1 lakh customers or 2 lakh customers. So using artificial intelligence, just like the doctor is analyzing the patient, analyzing his symptoms, analyzing his data, all the test reports, all the scan report, all the blood test report, all these are all data points, right? The doctor is collecting all the data points about the patient's vitals, about that patient, which will give you the trend or which will give you some insight into the patient's disease. The same way, using artificial intelligence, you can build machine learning models, you can build neural network models, you can build NLP solutions and predict, and you can identify the trend and insight into the business and into the customer interest, into the trend, future trend, how the customer will behave, what is the customer interest, what is that customer is looking for, what kind of feature he wants. So you can identify all that for each customer. I'm not talking about one particular customer. So you have 2 lakh customers after running your business for 2 years. You can run your artificial intelligence models and solutions on understanding, analyzing each customer, and then based on that, you can take decisions about what to sell and how to reach each customer and provide customer-centric solutions and products to the customer. So that is the most important thing. You as an entrepreneur, if you are going into the market, that's exactly what you should be doing. Instead of spamming the customer, instead of trying to sell everything what you have a customer-centric point of view where you try to understand the customer and reach him what he need and provide him the best thing at the right time, the right product at the right time through the right channel. So we will talk about that, how we are doing it in our bank. By giving some of the examples in the subsequent slides. So before we go into that, what's artificial intelligence? So just a refresher. I'm not going to get into all the technology, technical elements of this, but just for some of you, may not, in case if you are not familiar with the data science, these are the different technology under the umbrella of artificial intelligence. So when people say artificial intelligence, these are the different technologies. So you have machine learning, deep learning, predictive analytics, especially we extensively use it in our business. Then the natural language processing, where machine will understand your natural language like English or French or Chinese or whatever, right? And then speech to text and text to speech. So you can analyze audio, you can analyze text to speech. So documents, you can have natural language processing. So most of the chatbots, if you're familiar, works on that. Then planning, scheduling, optimization, especially we use it in the manufacturing, shop floor optimization, production optimization. Robotics, you can use it in the medical healthcare industry, or you can use it in mining or in steel furnaces. Then vision, computer vision, where you have the video analytics, image analytics. So the computer will be able to analyze videos, images, photos, and you can identify with that. So this is at a high level when we say artificial intelligence, what it is, right? So this is what I was talking about, how the doctor will operate, right? So for an entrepreneur, the most important thing is you should have a commercially viable business model, right? So just because you know something technology, okay, I can build a lot of website and I can build some data science models, I can build good, excellent graphics and all that. That will not make you an entrepreneur, all right? So that's only technology is only an enabler. Before that, you should have a business use case. You should have a business commercially viable business model, which is going to cater to a certain segment of business or a market or a product which people are going to use it. And that should be the differentiator. And from there, for that, you go digital or you build websites or portals or different digital platforms to enable your business model. So the digital platform in itself is not going to help you to launch a business. Okay. So as a doctor, you should visualize the problem. What is from a customer point of view, what is the problem and how you are going to solve that problem, and what is the business benefit, or what is the advantage, what is the benefit you are offering to the customer. So there should be something tangible, solutions, tangible benefit which you are providing to the customer to have your venture, to make your startup successful in the long time. Okay. So artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence, machine learning, the deep learning, all this technology will help you to analyze the market. It will help you to analyze the customer behavior. It will help you to predict your future strategy, right? It will help you to optimize your business operation. So that's how we need to look at. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, so if you speak to some of these IT companies, right, like Infosys, Wipro, IBM, Cognizant, or any of these IT services companies. So everyone is building AI solution. Everyone has a data science division. Everyone is building AI solution. So if you look at banking, many of these IT services companies have fraud analytics, chatbots, very common with everyone. Then risk analytics solutions, propensity models. These are all very common. And then if you go to retail, like Flipkart or Walmart, any of these solutions. So especially with the online retailers, all these IT companies have, many of them have propensity models. Then the manufacturing, predictive and asset maintenance, predictive maintenance for heavy equipment, predictive maintenance solutions for machineries. These are all different AI solutions which are very common in the market, right? So what these IT companies are doing is they build this kind of AI solutions and then go and sell it to the customer and try to solve a business problem. So what we are doing is, instead of doing that, what we are doing is we have the entire bank with us. We have the entire bank with 26 million customers spread across 16 countries. And we have the entire bank data on a big data platform. And then we transform the business, transform the bank end to end using artificial intelligence. So that's the difference. So when others are talking about nuts and bolts, we are talking about the entire car. When others are talking about chatbot and the fraud analytics and risk analytics, we are talking about the entire business end to end. So when I say entire business, it includes your marketing, your sales, your campaign management, your operations, your customer experience, your finance, your HR functions, your risk analytics, branch operations, employee recruitment, hiring, performance management, entire operation, right? So that's the difference. So these are two approaches for the data science implementation, two approaches for implementing artificial intelligence in the industry, right? One is bottom-up approach, where you can build small building blocks and try to plug into an entire business organization, try to solve a small piece of business problem. So you can have any number of such small business solutions, which is about talking like nuts and bolts. And the second one is a top-down approach, where you have the entire organization with you, and you have the entire organization, business, enterprise data on the big data platform, and then you build n number of AI solutions to transform all the business functions, right? So when you're talking about entrepreneurship, I would say you should not be talking about nuts and bolts. You should be talking about the entire car. You should be doing the top-down approach, where you look at the entire your business, look at your entire startup organization, and then transform your business end to end. Okay, not only just for your digital campaign, not only for your campaign management, but for your operations, for understanding your market trend, for your strategy management, for your decision management, for your staffing, performance optimization, everything. Okay, so that's a lesson number 2, which you should be looking at. Okay, so AI has the potential to transform your business, to optimize your business. Okay, now the next question will be, I'm having a startup and my operation is very small. Can I use AI there, or is it AI only meant for big companies like Flipkart or Walmart or Reliance or big companies? No. So the answer is that you can apply AI in any organization, irrespective of the size, whether it's a small company or it's a big company. You can make it AI enabled by going digital. So the first thing is you should have the digital data in the digital format. So whether you are in a maybe traditional conventional business like agriculture or tourism, or you can be in some of the sectors like finance or insurance or any of this industry, either you go 100% digital or you can go partially digital, and you can have IoT enabled systems, you can have sensor data, and can have different data, and bring all this data into a big data platform, and then build AI solution, build different NLP solution, build different data science models to run your business. That should be the approach. Okay, so don't look at, don't think of nuts and bolts, but instead of that, you should be thinking of the entire car. You should be, instead of looking at a small piece of your business segments or business processes to drive it with the data, instead of that, you should be looking at your entire business into it and make it enable and transform it, right? So when we talk about a business, so these are the conventional business, right? So a conventional business will have this business functions. So you have core business functions are there. Then you have sales, operations, human resource, accounting, finance, marketing. All these functions are there. So you can. So I'm talking about applying data science, applying artificial intelligence in every department, every functions, to make it artificial intelligence enabled enterprise. So your business should be data driven. So artificial intelligence enabled business, artificial intelligence enabled enterprise or data driven business. And what you can do there, right? So you have HR, you have accounting, you have finance, sales, operation, in every aspect of it, you should be looking at applying this and using it as part of your daily business operation. Right, so some of the areas are decision management. So you as whether you are a CXO or you are a manager in a company, whether you are a CEO or a department head, irrespective of that, you are going to take many decisions every day. Then you have strategy management, customer sentiment analytics, operation optimization, market trend analytics, sales prediction, employee performance management, recruitment, attrition management. So all these are some of the areas where we can apply artificial intelligence, right? So this is one use case which I want to highlight since we are talking about the entrepreneurship. So this is one startup, agri-tech startup, where I'm mentoring them. So this is a solution, an online marketplace, right? So last week we had one of this competition for CET, and I remember we had at least 2 or 3 ideas in the same area where people were presenting about online marketplace for the vegetable, for the agriculture farm products, right? So this is a similar one, which is artificial intelligence. They extensively use artificial intelligence there, right? So what they do is they have this online marketplace where they can, the farmers can come and enroll there, and they can display their products, and then they can sell, and the buyers can buy that. So what they do is using so they have this data for 1 year, last 2 years, and then they are using artificial intelligence, they are making clusters of online markets, right? So for example, if you are a farmer in Srigaryam and you are trying to sell, and there is somebody who wants to buy 1 kilo of onion or 1 kilo of tomato from Kochi, it is not possible for you to, it doesn't make sense, or it is not commercially viable for you to send 1 kilo of potato or tomato from Srigaryam to Kochi, right? That's not commercially viable, right? The distance. So instead of that, what this solution does is using artificial intelligence, and the system on real time identify where is the customer and identify the sellers near to him around 2 kilometer radius, right? So if you are a customer in CET, you are trying to buy a vegetable, a tomato or a potato, and then immediately it will look for sellers in and around Chavadimukh or Srigaryam or Kolattur, right? And then the system will prompt you there, and then you will get sellers near to your area. So somebody in Srigaryam can send 1 kilo of vegetable to you in CET, which is okay, right? Which is within 1 or 2 kilometers, right? So a cluster. So the entire online portal is a cluster of online markets. So it's a market of markets. So that is again, it is made possible by artificial intelligence. Then there is market sentiment analytics. So we have this data for the last 2 years, and then people are buying it, and then people write comments, people write reviews, and then the NLP solutions, NLP solutions are built to understand what is that customers are talking about, what are the best complaints which they are coming up with. So we come up with the top 5 issues and top positive things. What are the customers talking about? What are the sentiments? And NLP is real time analyze that and then give the recommendation to the customers and to the sellers, and like what product they like, or what kind of features, or what's the product complaint, what they don't like, what they like, all that. And then the next is the next best product to buy, right? That's another solution. So for example, if today you are buying say banana, or today you are buying some chips, banana chips, and next time, tomorrow you log in again, we will give you the recommendation something similar to that, something sweet items, or something chips items, or something which is similar to that. So the system will immediately identify, okay, you bought this item, 1, 2, 3 item, and you are likely to buy this also, next best product to buy. So for every customer, you get a personalized recommendation, right? So that's another solution which is part of the this online solution. Then there's a market sentiment. So real-time feedback is given to the sellers for market sentiments. Then the market cluster. So online SME sellers. So if you are a seller, you can join to the cluster. So based on your cluster, your location, and based on your business profile. So you may be a farmer, or you may be a farming product a processor, or you may be doing some value-added, making some value-added products like chips or pickles or something from the farm-related products. So based on that, the models will give you recommendation to join the market cluster. Okay, and then the customer propensity. So the artificial intelligence solutions will understand the customer propensity, what he is likely to buy. So this kind of profile customer, based on his demographics, what he is likely to buy. So we give the recommendation and campaigns to the customer based on the customer propensity. And then say you have optimized logistic solutions. So for example, there are 10 people ordering items from medical college area, or some people are ordering from Palam area, or some people are ordering from Srigaryam. So your optimized logistic solution will club all these and optimize the route. And there are 10 orders or 15 orders, and then the seller and the person who is the logistic person who is picking the item, he will get a route and optimized route based on the using the artificial intelligence. He will get the optimized route, and he can so he will be able to deliver maximum orders with the minimum kilometer travel. Okay, so the similar products, similar route will be clubbed together, and the route will be optimized. So these are some of the, this is a startup which I want to highlight. How this is not a big company like Airlines or or a big retail chain or anything. This is just a startup which is running for last 2 years, but they have completely onboarded to AI solutions. So they have completely transformed their business, and they are extensively using artificial intelligence end to end. That's the message I want to give. So if you're talking about a startup, any startup, right? So you don't need to talk about nuts and bolts, but you are talking about the entire car, entire business. You can make it data driven. You can make it AI driven. That's the message I want to give here. This is another startup company based in Gujarat. I'm giving a mentoring to them. So they are into diamond cutting. So this is a Gujarati guy. His family is into diamond merchant for diamond trading for many years. So they were having a diamond processing unit and multi-millionaire, and it was running for many decades. And now the new generation, they have made it into digital, and they are venturing into Europe and North America, right? So what they are doing is they have this online portal, online e-commerce website, where they are displaying all their diamond different fashions, and then they are using artificial intelligence to reach out to the market. So based on each country, each demographic, each age group, each cultural background, what kind of fashion is there, different age group, different seasons, what's the latest fashion, what is the trend there. They analyze all that using artificial intelligence, and then they use that for their manufacturing in cutting, shaping, polishing, grading. So and then pricing also. Every country, every segment, every demographics has different pricing. So all this their insights they get from the data science models, right? So they again they predict the market trend and the customer propensity to buy, what kind of fashion they like, and what are the kind of polishing, or what grade of products which they will like. And then they will have the customer sentiment analytics. So the diamond, these are all very costly things. So what is the complaint the customers are talking about in different review sites, different comments on the social media. They analyze all that using NLP, natural language processing, NLP solutions, and then they come up with actionable insight. And then they take that recommendation back to their manufacturing, and then they change their design, or change their fashion, change their grading, all that, and the pricing also. All this is, everything is entirely driven by AI. So this is a typical case where you can transform your conventional business. So because this diamond business, he was into, his parents were into diamond business for the last more than 40-50 years. Now the new generation, young generation, they are using technology to transform their business and making it trendy, making it relevant to the new generation, and expanding their business globally. Earlier they were limited to Gujarat and India, but now they are expanding globally with digital platform, and which is driven and enabled by artificial intelligence. This is a typical case of transforming your business using artificial intelligence. Okay, so it can be, as I told in the last case, it can be agri-tech, agriculture, farm products, or it can be something which very money intensive or heavy, something which is advanced, like diamond manufacturing and diamond sales. So it doesn't matter which industry you are into. Okay, so you can use artificial intelligence to transform your business. This is a success story from our bank. So as I told in the beginning, our bank is spread across 16 countries. And 2 years back, around 2.5 years back, we wanted to expand into, launch our banking into another Southeast Asian country. Okay, so you know that how the bank will expand. So for example, any of the multinational banks like Citibank or HSBC, any of these banks, if they want to expand to a new country, there are two options. Option number one, if Citibank want to come from America to India, which they came a couple of decades back. So option number one, they can come to India and they can spend millions and go to the metro cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, and they can go to the city center, the commercial center like Mumbai, Kolaba, or Nariman Point, or and then they can rent out branches, offices there, set up their branch, head office there in Delhi or Mumbai, all these places. They can open branches there, and they can recruit people and start their operation. And in their phase two, they can, after setting up in the metros, they can next go to Bangalore, Hyderabad, Nagpur, Kochi, Trivandrum, all these smaller cities. And then again, if it is in Trivandrum, they will go to MG Road. If it is Kochi, again the city, the main city center, they will go there. They will lease or rent out offices, and they will set up the branches, and then they will have hundreds of places where they will have to take the rooms for ATM machines, and then they will build all the ATM network. So the entire process of building their banking network into a sizable business in across the country will take many years, and it needs millions of dollars investment, right? It needs heavy investment. That's option number one. Option number two, if Citibank want to come to India, they can come to India and then acquire another bank, smaller bank like South Indian Bank or Bank of Baroda or Punjab National Bank, which is smaller in size compared to Citibank. They can acquire that bank, and if they are acquiring South Indian Bank, all the South Indian Bank has more than 1,000 branches or 10,000 ATMs and 50,000 employees. All this will become part of the Citibank. it becomes Citibank. So for that also, you need heavy investment. These are the two options for any bank to launch their business into a new country. So what we have done is, instead of going through this option number 1 or option number 2, what we have done is, we have acquired a fintech company. Like when I say fintech, it's Paytm is a fintech mobile wallet company. So we had a acquisition of this fintech company, and then we used their customer data, and then we built many. Hello, any issues? Okay. So we acquired this entire, we used this entire customer data and then built machine learning models, neural network solutions to understand this customer base. And then we built income prediction models, hidden preferred customers. We came up with propensity models. And then we had personalized targeted campaigns to these customers. And then we have grown from 0 to 2.6 million customers within 14 months, entirely using artificial intelligence. And we are 100% digital in this country, which means we do not have any branches in that country, Southeast Asian country, which is English speaking country. So we do not have any branches. We do not have any ATM machines in that. We only have an office in the IT park, one of the IT parks there. And we have 65 employees there, including the CEO and the department heads and the data scientists. 65 employees. They are completely running this business 100% digital, which means no branches. Okay. And we have grown from 0 to 2.6 million customers within 14 months. That's the power of artificial intelligence. That's the power of understanding the data, and that's the power of data analytics. Okay. So that's how we have grown. So if you are planning to launch your startup, this is the excellent example how you can go there. Okay. How you can transform the business there. So if you have a savings bank account with my bank here, what we do is, if you want to withdraw money, you can go and withdraw money from any other ATM, and we pay the service charge to that bank. Okay. So we do not have any ATM there. And we are growing exponentially. And last year, we got the award for the best digital bank in that country. So all your operations will be either through website or through mobile app. Okay. So that's a new way of doing business. So we did not spend millions to set up offices at the city centers. We did not spend millions to set up ATM, hundreds and thousands of ATM machines. We did not do any of this, but we are growing exponentially with minimum employees, 100% digital, and going from 0 to 2.6 million customers within 14 months. That's the power of artificial intelligence. And another case here is, you know that every bank, irrespective of the size, whether it's a multinational bank like Citibank or Standard or HSBC, or the Indian banks like State Bank, SBI, or South Indian Bank, or any of these banks, everybody is selling credit card, right? Credit card is a part of every bank. But we do not sell credit card in this country. This particular country, we are not selling. Okay. The reason being, when we built this kind of machine learning models and we got the recommendation, we identified that the credit card market is already saturated, because all the multinational banks are already operating in that country for the last couple of decades. Many of them were operating in that country for the last 10 years, 20 years, more than that. So the credit card market was we identified using artificial intelligence, we identified that the market is completely saturated. And hence, we did not launch credit card there in that country. So that was our business strategy. And that strategy was taken, that strategy is driven by a recommendation coming out from artificial intelligence. Okay. So if you want to do your strategy, your business strategy, this is the best way to approach. So even today, we don't sell credit card in this country. We have savings account, we have fixed deposit, car loans, housing loan, personal loans, investment banking, and wealth products like equities and gold investment. All these things are there, but we don't have credit card business in that country. That strategy was driven by artificial intelligence. That's a non-conventional way of operating using artificial intelligence. And when we talk about artificial intelligence, I mean, when we talk about a bank, what's a bank? So for us, a bank will be, you take any bank, the products are similar, right? So they will have savings account, FD is their credit card, debit card, auto loan, property loan, home loan, personal loans, and some of the wealth products. That's it. So you go to any bank, all this will be similar. I remember I constructed house 15 years back in Bangalore. I had to take a home loan. I went to my bank where I have my salary account for the many years, 10 years, and still I had to submit for a home loan. I had to give the KYC document, address proof, identity proof, my last 3 years of IT returns, and credit history, all these documentation. So it took more than 2 months for me. I had to go to the bank and meet the manager and submit all these documents to get a home loan. Using artificial intelligence, now in our bank, we approve the bank home loan within 5 minutes for the customers. So what we have done is we built this mobile app for the bank, and the entire banking operation is through the mobile app. So for example, today I'm in Bangalore, and tomorrow I come to Trivandrum, and I come to Srikaryam. At the lunchtime, I will get a recommendation on my mobile phone. I get a push notification on my mobile app saying that at the time of lunch, I will get a notification saying that there is a restaurant just next to Trivandrum, the Srikaryam. I can go and have my lunch there. And my recommendation will say, okay, there is a Chinese restaurant, because the bank already has my eating habits based on my previous purchase behavior, based on my previous lunch or dinner behavior, what I buy, everything is analyzed, and the bank already knows Mathew like Chinese food more than Kerala food or vegetarian or non-vegetarian or South Indian or Italian or Punjabi or any dishes. So bank already has my recommendation, and the bank already has a tie-up and relationship with this restaurant. So I go there and pay using this bank card or my online transfer. I get a 20% discount there because the bank is already getting that discount from the retailer. And after the lunch, I go to Palayam. The bank knows what is my shopping behavior, what kind of items I buy when I travel. So bank will say that I will get the push notification saying that in Statue there is a shopping mall where I can go and buy some electronic items, because the bank already knows based on my previous purchase behavior, these are the items which I buy. So I go there, I can buy there, and I get a 10% discount. And in the evening, when I come back to CET Kolattur, I will get a notification. Okay, there is a movie theater there. I can go and watch the movie, because the bank already knows my evening habit is I go and watch movie, and what kind of movie habits I have, which movie, whether it's an English movie or Malayalam movie or comedy or action thriller or Hindi movie, what kind of movie I like. All my behavior and all my purchase, my habits, everything the bank knows. So from morning till evening, all my financial needs, the bank understands, and he gives me the recommendation and notification at the right time. Instead of spamming me, he, based on my propensity, based on my interest, based on my habits, the bank is giving me the personalized message at the right time. Okay. And tomorrow, if I say next month, if I want to buy a car, I start browsing through the car website, or if I go to the car dealer, immediately the bank will get the notification, and the bank already has all my income data, all my purchase behavior, all my past loans, and what kind of loans I have, how much saving I have, what kind of job I have, monthly savings, monthly spending habits, everything the bank knows, and immediately the bank will give me the recommendation based on my credit history, based on my income, and based on my saving spending habit. This Innova, the bank will give me the recommendation which car is best for me. Based on that, the bank will say that, okay, this Toyota Innova with 15 lakhs or 18 lakhs, this is the best for me. So bank helps me in taking the decision, and within 2 minutes, the bank will approve me and give me the car loan, and I can get that get 2% discount from the car dealer because the bank already has a relationship and tie up with the car dealer. So I get a special 2% discount because I am using the bank credit card. And that is tomorrow the same is case if I have to buy a house also. So if I have to buy a house in Bangalore, there are options starting from 50 lakhs to 20 crores or 30 crores. I can buy an apartment, a small apartment for 50 lakhs, or I can buy a villa or in a good residential area for 20 lakhs, 20 crores or 30 crores. So the options are starting from 50 lakhs to 20 crores, hundreds of options are there, thousands of options, different builders are there. So the moment I start looking for the house, the bank will get the notification, my data, and the bank already has all my data available. How much is my income? How much are my spending habit? How much? What is the type of job? What are my my purchase behavior, monthly savings, everything, and the bank immediately will give me a recommendation based on all my profile. This apartment with 90 lakhs is the best for me, and he will give me the best apartment recommendation, and I can use their bank relationship, and I get a 1% discount there or a 2% discount there because the bank already has tie up with that builder. So for all my financial, so just compare with the conventional bank where to get a home loan, I had to spend 2 months. I had to prove all my credentials with all the documentation for 2 months. From that conventional bank, we have transformed banking using artificial intelligence to a real-time financial partner for every customer, giving you the right recommendation and helping you with the right decision and providing you the loans and recommendations and offers at the right time. So that's a transformation. So this is the power of artificial intelligence, how you can personalize your product and services and understand your customers' preferences, interests, and provide real-time personalized service and product. Okay, so if you're talking about entrepreneurship in any industry, in any sector, this is what you should be targeting. Don't just try to sell your product just like a medical representative is trying to sell his products. Don't do that. Instead of that, understand the customer behavior, understand the customer preferences, his interest. What is that he want, when he want, how much he want. So reach him at the right time with the right product through the right channel and help him add value to his life. Then he will value you. Okay, and artificial intelligence will help you to reach there. So that's a roadmap for us to grow in your business. So what else can be done? So when we talk about artificial intelligence, post-COVID-19, right? So post-COVID-19, you know that every industry is impacted, right? So the travel, the airlines are going down. The tourism is heavily impacted. The media, the movies, cinema industry is totally impacted. So many industries, most of the industries are impacted, and then the world is going to be digitally connected. Many industries and companies are moving digital, becoming digital either partially or completely. And then most of these companies, there are mandate from the senior management to cut down the cost. So people are asking you, reduce your cost, your OPEX by 20%. You reduce your headcount, you reduce your employee strength by 20%, lay off the employees, or reduce your sales expense, reduce your campaign expenses, reduce your operational expense. So all these questions are, pressures are there in the industry, and then how we are going to take decision. This is an excellent example how you can use artificial intelligence for your managing your decision. So you as a manager or you as a CXO of any company, you are expected to take many decisions every day. So how will you take a decision in such a situation? That's the main question, right? So if you have to take a decision, if you are the CEO of a company, if your board of directors is telling, okay, you cut down cost by 20%, what you will do is you will call your team, your directors, or the top management team, and then you will discuss and then come out with the directive to the entire organization saying that, okay, you cut down all your campaign expense, or you cut down your sales expense by 20%. You cut down your stop all your hiring, stop all the recruitment, right? Or reduce production by 20%. So these are all random decisions taken, which is like you are committing suicide, right? So this decision is based on your experience, and you are taking this decision based on the collective experience of your team, which is again, to some extent, it is a random decision. To some extent, it is based on your gut feeling. To some extent, it is based on your experience. But there are chances of making mistakes. So what we have done is, instead of taking such a random decision, we have built many machine learning models. We have built many solutions to analyze what is the trend. So if our campaign is going on through different channels, what is the trend? Which products are likely to, the sales is likely to improve? Which products the sales is likely to go down? We came up with market trend predictions, and wherever the products the sales are likely to go down, we have reduced production there. Wherever the sales are likely to increase, we increase the campaign expense there. Instead of cutting down the cost on all the departments and all the products, our strategy and our decisions are based on the recommendation coming out from this data science solutions, from the market trend analytics, from the customer behavior analytics, and then the operational cost. Which production, which product is likely to do better in the changed market scenario. Our operations, our spending is more increased there, and where the products are likely to go down, we stop there. And when the employees hiring, the production, where the areas where the business is likely to improve, we hire more people there. Where the business is likely to go down, we cut down people there. So instead of taking random decision, all these decisions based for everyday management decisions and everyday management strategies are driven from the recommendation coming out from the AI solutions. So that's a change in operating. That's a change via how you can operate your business using artificial intelligence. So if you have talking about the startup, if you are talking about entrepreneurship, this is how you should be doing it. So you should have the entire business data, digital data, and then build different models. And every decision which you take, every strategy which you take should be driven from a recommendation coming, a predictive, futuristic recommendation coming out from your AI solutions. That's the way forward. Okay. So with that, I want to stop here. Since we are running out of time, I will stop here. So all the future entrepreneurs and the guys who want to get into the market with your ideas, all the best, and wish you all the best. So take this technology with you, and then come out with game changers, come out with commercially viable business solutions, commercially viable business models, and then take digital technology, take artificial intelligence technology, take the cloud technology or the blockchain technology. So these kind of technologies are enablers, which is going to help you in running your business in a better way. You can come out with game-changing strategies. You can come out with game changers. You can come out with decisions which are more accurate. You can predict your future, predict the customer behavior, predict the product trend, and then accordingly you can manage your business. So artificial intelligence is not meant for just campaign management or risk analytics or some piece and nuts and bolts. It is not about talking about the nuts and bolts. Instead of that, we should be talking about the entire car. Instead of talking about the campaign management or risk analytics or predictive maintenance of small pieces of problems, we should be talking about your entire business, end-to-end business, and how you can transform that, how you can drive your business using artificial intelligence. So that should be the future roadmap. Okay, so I will stop here, and the next 30 minutes we will have time of question answer. So I suggest one of the moderators, you can read out the question answer, or the people, if you want, you can unmute and tell also. And if there are any questions in the chat window, one of the moderators can read. And before we get into the question answer, I have passed on a link for the feedback. So to the organizers, so please circulate that link to all of you, all the participants. So that's a link where you can write the feedback about the session. So please spend a couple of minutes in going through, go to that link and write the feedback about the session. If you liked it or how it is benefited you, you can write the feedback there. Okay, so all of you, I would expect all 50 of you to write the feedback on that link. Okay, so over to you, Susna.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So once again, that is the end of the session, and it was a really insightful session for us. Thanks a lot, sir. So now, the audience, if any of you have some questions that you would like to ask, sir, you can either unmute your mic or drop the questions in the chat box.
So I can see some of you are posting the feedback here. So post
Yeah,
the feedback.
I'll put the link here in the chat itself, so that and also send a mail to each and every one of you, so you can fill the response of your session. So I'll do that.
Okay, questions?
Yes, if any of you have questions, you can put it in the chat box. Okay. So Pranav Prakash has asked, sir, you told us that user data was collected to provide personalized recommendations for customers. Nowadays, people are worried about sharing their personal data, which includes their habits and interests. What do you think is the future of businesses that are solely focused on data analytics once people stop giving consent to collect the data?
Yeah, so there are, in terms of data privacy, so there are legal and statutory requirements and legal framework in place for the data privacy and data security. So in our case, banking, there are strict regulation in these countries, just like a RBI, Reserve Bank of India. We have central banks in these countries where it is audited, and whatever data we collect, it is kept confidential, and all the personally identifiable information, right? So the data which is personal are all encrypted, and it is kept highly confidential, and there are audits which happens frequently. So, and again, if you are in the medical healthcare sector also, this kind of data security, privacy requirements are there. So every industry has this kind of requirements. So we have to follow that in terms of the data privacy and ensure that the data is not misused, all that. Yeah.
Yes. So I think Pranav, the question was answered. We had also circulated a Google form among the students. So if they had some questions while registering, they could ask it to you in the form itself. One question that we had was how to ensure the availability of bias-free data. How can we ensure the availability of bias-free data?
Yeah, data bias is again a challenge there. So there are different ways we can handle that. So maybe we can have another session on talk about that. But in short, especially in the banking, so we work on the production data, we work on the entire bank database. So all the demographics, all that are covered, and we ensure that there are no bias there. And again, the models are also improved over a period of time. We improve the models, come up with more predictive accuracy, and it is reviewed to ensure that there are no bias there. So there are no, it's not a simple thing to avoid that. And again, from sector, industry to industry, there are different ways where we can avoid the data bias and all that.
Okay. So another question that we had was, how will AI be integrated with the company's overall strategy, and how will this change affect the company's workers? Does it affect it in any way?
Yeah, so it's not about AI enabling with the strategy. Instead of that, as I told in the initial, some of these examples, your business should be driven by AI. Your strategy should be driven by AI, not that you try to fit in your strategy into AI. Instead of that, AI should come out with recommendations and drive the strategy. Okay, so for example, if you are talking about your market strategy, you come up with AI recommendations. So for example, we decided in one of these countries, we decided not to launch our credit card business. So that is against the conventional banking strategy, but this was an output from our AI build machine learning model recommendation. So our strategy was driven by AI, not the other way. Okay, so we didn't try to sell the credit card and then try to fit our AI solutions into that. Instead of that, our data recommendation, AI recommendation was driven, and decision was taken based on this recommendation. So it should be the other way. Same is case with pricing also. For example, you can have analysis about your competition, the pricing strategy, every market, different segments, how your pricing should be. So that recommendation can come from the AI models, and based on that, you take a decision about the pricing. You can have flexible pricing, dynamic pricing based on the customer behavior, based on the customer propensity, demographics. You can have different pricing strategies. Everything can come, it should come out from the AI model, not the other way. Yeah.
Okay. So another question that we had was, in the case of incorporating AI, how should we hire new talent or should we train the existing staff when it comes to incorporating AI into your?
Yeah, so there are two things. One is to build the model, you need data scientists, right? So if you are in a manufacturing company and you have some managers who are into supervision managers, quality control managers, or maintenance managers, you cannot expect them to become a data scientist overnight. Okay. So you are not going to have train them. So instead of that, you should be hiring somebody with a PhD in data science and hire some data scientists who can do that. But the other training is the managers and the functional people should have the awareness and overview of the data science to understand how it can be used, where it can be used, and how they can use this AI to run their business. So that working knowledge should be there for all the people, especially your top management, your CEOs, and the people who are taking decisions. They should appreciate the value of AI and how they can use it to run their business. So that functional knowledge should be there. But otherwise, the core coding knowledge and all, we cannot expect a maintenance manager to sit and build NLP solution or neural network solution. For that you need techies. You need data scientists who are core techies. So you hire them, probably 10 people, 20 people, and in an organization of 1,000 people. But the remaining people you have train at a functional level. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Another question that came up was, how can we increase the ongoing productivity with machine learning enabled attribution? How can we increase the productivity?
Yeah, so we are improving the productivity in every department. So for example, we had our campaign management, where people were just sending out campaigns, and now every campaign is personalized. So we come up with propensity models, and then the personalized targets are there. So there are people will more likely to buy the product. So sales productivity is improved. And then another case I will tell you, we built, when I was in IBM earlier, so we built machine learning models for predicting the steel manufacturing. So in a blast furnace, you produce steel, right, from iron ore to the hot briquette iron. So we have built a predictive energy optimization solution to optimize the blast usage, furnace usage, and the energy usage. And based on how much tonnage steel is needed, you need to produce every month, you plan your furnace usage and the energy usage. So the productivity improves substantially. Energy wastage reduces. So every department. So this is about manufacturing. So you talk about maintenance. You can have predictive maintenance solutions for your critical machinery to predict when a particular machine is likely to break down, when a particular component of a machinery is likely to break down. So you can have that and avoid any unexpected breakdowns which is going to impact your entire assembly line. So you take any department, any functions, you can use this to predict this. You can build the predictive models to improve, reduce wastage, reduce breakdown time, idle time, and improve the productivity and reduce the cost, everything.
Yeah. Sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Another question that came up was, how do you think digital technologies will change the company culture in general? How will it affect?
Yeah, so I was talking about the whole 1 hour session was about how this will transform the business, right? So the culture also will definitely change. So right from recruitment, we have recruitment solutions, AI solutions are there, which will help in the doing the written test. You will have personalized based on your skill. You will get questions customized for you, and in the interview, your video will be analyzed how you are responding to each question, your facial expressions, how you are managing the tension. So all that is taken, and then your performance management will change. Right now, every company you have mid-year appraisal and annual appraisal, right? Instead of that, you will have real-time appraisal where every work is counted, and then artificial intelligence model will come up with recommendation about your appraisal, and it will there are solutions to predict when you are likely to quit the company, when you are started you are based on your behavior, based on the how you are responding to others. So every area there is AI is there. So it is to some extent it is scary, but it's a future, right? And so we will have to align to that irrespective of which industry you are in.
Okay. And when you told about how it can be scary in a way, what do you think? What do you think will be the consequences if AI fails or there's a situation like that?
Yeah.
When it occurs?
Yeah, so AI can fail. So that's why you don't see AI in your heart operation, or you go to a hospital. AI is not going to replace your doctor, right? So, right. So that kind of checks and balances are there. And again, AI is not going to run the business, right? AI will only give you a recommendation. So there are. So if you look at IBM Watson, IBM Watson is extensively used in the healthcare industry. But that's Watson is not going to replace a cardiac doctor or a physician. What IBM Watson is doing is it will help in diagnosing the patient. It will help in identifying the best treatment. It will help in reducing the trial and error, all that. But the final decision will be taken by the doctor, physician. Okay. So we are not going to hand over our entire life to the machine. Okay, we are not reached that stage, so don't worry about that. So these are all recommendations. So for example, in the business also, I told about the recommendation coming out, right? Say for example, the model will predict, okay, this is should be the pricing strategy, but finally the manager who is responsible, he is going to take a decision. So he will ensure that he is reviewing it properly, and then there is prediction accuracy also will be there. So every model, over a period of time, we improve the model. So you start with the prediction accuracy of 70%, and over a period of time, you improve it to 80%, 85%, which is excellent. So still there is a possibility of 15% or 20% of failure, right? So you are going to have managers who will take a decision there and ensure that things don't go away. So we are not talking about completely handing over the AI business to AI. Okay, so these are all tools which is going to help you. Just like you have a car, right? So you are not going to give the car, you sit in the car and expect the car to drive its own from Srigaryam to Palayam, right?
Yeah.
You have a car, and the driving, you are in the driving seat, and you have the accelerator, you have the brake, you have the steering wheel, and the machine is only helping you to reach Palayam faster instead of you walking from Srigaryam to
The AI
Palayam.
is only providing us with recommendations. The final hold is still on the hands of the manager.
Exactly. These are all enablers. These are all tools.
Yes, sir. Thank you. In the case of organization which delivers AI projects, how will the testing be handled? Will it be manually or will it be automated? And which actions or projects will be required to be outsourced?
Yeah, so there are different testing methods. So in the data science model building itself, you have testing data set, and when you training data set is there, and then so it changes. It depends on the use case also. So there are different ways of you can test that, and over a period of time, you improve the model. Okay.
Yes, we'll have. Okay, we'll have a final question. As long as the audience is not having any question, what consent is required from the customers or users or employees while we are incorporating AI?
Yeah, that depends on what kind of data you are collecting. So, for example, in our case, for the bank data, we are taking many personal data. So we take the permission from the user, plus we take the legal permission from the central bank, plus we take the approval from the government. So if that's because we collect all the personal data. But in case if you are in a retailer and then you are just collecting some data about your purchase and all, you may not need maybe the user consent is enough. So it all depends on how the level of secrecy, the level of privacy for the data, and the legal framework in that country. So it depends on
Okay.
that.
Yes. So I think with that we have come to the end of our interactive question answer session. It was a really informative session for each and every one of us. Once again, on behalf of 5DC and CET, I thank you, sir, for taking time to give the session for us. And also to the audience, the link has been put in the chat box. We'll also be sending them a mail with the link, so they'll be providing the feedback for today's session. Once again, thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. And all of you, please write the detailed feedback. That will help me. So I will know how, whether you understood or whether you liked it. Okay. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, and wish you all the best. And those who are the budding entrepreneurs, wish you all the best and do well and take this technology and you can do wonders. So thanks
Yes.
and good night.
Good night, sir. Thank you.